So I got some paint drying on some pieces. This is pretty dry, but you know, not ready to reassemble. This is a day or two old, that paint. And so I decided to use some time to make T-nuts to go in here. It should be useful whenever I figure out what kind of tool post I'm going to use down the road. And per usual, that side project spawned another side project. Take two. I had a little spousal interruption there. Okay, I'm finding myself wanting to do another side project, or having to do another side project. I want to keep this locked from milling up here, but that's where I normally would mount an indicator base, is on my column, and I'd have to extend it a little bit. I don't want to extend it. I want to be able to put an indicator on. Now, I have this little attachment point here that I assume is probably for just what I'm about to do. I don't recall ever seeing anyone use this in any of the videos I've seen. So maybe it's for something completely different. But, you know, it's been painted over and all this, so I'm going to try to, you know, drill the paint out, tap this, you know, chase the threads here, it's tapped, make myself a thumb screw, and what I want to have is an indicator that's set on a, that's meant to go in here, and that way I can take whatever measurements I need. I basically just want to be able to use the indicator to set my table height. I never have a whole lot of luck using the dial down here. Actually, having the indicator there for right now, I'm trying to teach myself a little bit about how this dial works to make sure that I've been using it right. Because a lot of times I'll think I'm taking something off a certain amount, and it turns out I took, you know, less, usually less. Because this thing has 200 divisions going around. So anyway, that's the side project for the day, is cleaning this out, making a rod that'll fit it, and then figuring a way to get an indicator attached to that, and then I don't have to put an indicator on my column to check my height. This is going to be my victim, since this is an old indicator base. It came with some other stuff, and the magnet doesn't even work very well right now. Maybe because they did this mod on it sometime in the past. So I'm going to take this part off, turn it down to 5/16 up in here, clean it up, and use that to mount an indicator on my mill. Alright. Decided to use an old reamer to clean this out. That seems to got it. It's a 5/16. Hope that's not considered tool abuse to run a reamer and a hand drill, but it seems to have survived okay. Alright, there's my piece. It's a pretty good snug fit. However, I've already noticed that, you know, unless you get this thing, you have to pretty much crank down on this before you get, you know, before it's solid, like you'd want for an indicator. And, you know, I cranked down on it once and I've already dimpled it, so I need to fix my bolt. And somewhere down the road, I think maybe after I get into welding, I'll try to make myself a little you know, a nice hand lever. Or maybe I'll just make something like I did for the tailstock clamp. That would probably work pretty well. Anyway, for right now, I just don't want it to chew that up like that every time I clamp it down. So I'm just going to dress up the end of this bolt, and then I think we'll be in pretty good shape. Alright, so just playing around with this a little bit. I think it'll be useful in some situations, but I mean, you have to be really careful because you're getting right in the way of the spindle, of course, near your cutter, all sorts of stuff. All sorts of bad things could happen with this arrangement. It's going to be a little finicky, but I think it'll come in handy. Unlock this guy. For a situation like this. Yeah, basically what I want to do is touch off on my piece that I have in here, and then you know, set my table height with the indicator like so. Yeah, like I said, it'll be useful, but it'll be something I'm going to have to be careful with. Alright, since we sacrificed this old Warrior to the Bridgeport project, you know, it had already, sometime in the past, somebody had modded it to try to keep it in service, but whatever. it's in pretty bad shape. The magnet doesn't work very well anyway. So not much to lose in taking it apart and seeing what's inside, seeing how this thing works. If possible, I'm not sure that just taking this little faceplate off is really going to get us to any serious guts. But only one way to find out. The heck did that come from? Oh, that came off of that. Alright. Cool. Oh, wow. Yeah, this thing was toast anyway. Trying to get it to come apart. It's not magnetic on the outside. It's not what I expected, that this whole thing would be magnetized here. I thought there would be a magnet on a shaft that as you turn down, that would bring it down here. Just can't quite get a hold of it well enough to... Oh, there we go. It's coming. That's all it is. Just one big old magnet. So, interesting. Is this all to do just with the polarity of the magnet that causes it to grab in one direction but not the other? What do you think? And it seems pretty magnetic all the way around. So how does turning this thing inside of this case cause the magnet to go on and off? Well, there you have it. That's the guts of a magnetic base.